Hey guys, this is Jeff from Studio 41 Productions, and I am here today to review Tomb Raider 2013. I don't have it physically. I got it with Games with Gold on 360. So, um, this is my review of Tomb Raider 2013. Alright, so let's get things started here with a bit of an overview of the story. The Tomb Raider franchise is definitely one that has taken a bit of a beating recently. And it didn't exactly start out all that well either, with Lara's kind of famous triangle titties back in the Sega Saturn days in the mid 90s. And it hasn't gotten a whole lot better with Tomb Raider Underworld back in 2008 not being such a hot game either. And Tomb Raider in 2013 definitely had a good bit of competition, as it released very close actually to the release date of Bioshock Infinite. And Tomb Raider also was a reboot of the entire continuity of the franchise. It was showing a different version of Lara Croft, as she was young, probably about only 21 or 22 in the events of Tomb Raider 2013, and we hadn't really seen that version of Lara Croft yet. Any video game she's been in, she's already been pretty much a master of what she does. And I don't want to go too much into the story. Basically, your ship wrecks on a mysterious island after a storm pops up from absolutely nowhere, and you and your crew have to escape. Overall, I think it's pretty solid. It's got some pretty good characters. Lara obviously is pretty good, and then Matthias, who is a character you meet, is pretty good as well. Roth, who is like the kind of the head of the whole thing, he's kind of like a father figure to Lara. He's a pretty good character. Sam, who is Lara's friend and the crew on the wrecked ship as well, is kind of a typical teenage girl who does teenage girl things, while Lara Croft is kind of like the Ice Queen, who doesn't show a whole lot of emotion and whatnot. Then there's Whitman, who is a total tool and pretty much my most hated character in this game. One thing that does, I think, help this story out is because the ships, or not the ships, the storms always pop up out of nowhere. And the Japanese and the Germans apparently were trying to study this phenomenon as well back in World War II. And you run across a bunch of World War II ruins and information about the storms and whatnot while you're investigating the island. And I just have to say, having World War II involved in anything pretty much makes it instantly awesome, because it's just so believable. I mean, if you look at everything nowadays, like an example would be like Hydra and Marvel. I mean, they're pretty much born from the Nazis of World War II. And, I mean, even Hellboy, whose origins is that he came from Nazis experimenting with the occult. I mean, it's so believable because it's totally something they would do. And it just legitimizes the entire story. So having the Axis powers investigate the storms and having you believe that they could possibly use that as like a super weapon against the Allies is totally believable. And like I say, the entire time you're on this island, you're trying to get off it, but it's hard because there's storms that pop up out of nowhere anytime anybody tries to come to the island or get off the island. So next, let's look at the gameplay of this. Alright, so Tomb Raider is pretty much in a third-person action-adventure game. I won't go so far as to call it a third-person shooter because you're doing more than third-person shooting. The game does early in the game. I hated it. There's a lot of quick time events. Early in the game, it is plagued by them. There's less later in the game, but the first few quick time events really were annoying because the window of having to try and succeed in them is not super big, and I died more in this game from failing quick time events than actually getting shot or anything. There's upgradable weapons and skills, which make Lara a bona fide badass. You can upgrade skills so that you can like stab enemies in the knee with an arrow if they're attacking you after you dodge, and getting bonus experience points by getting headshots. It's pretty awesome. Um, there's also optional tombs, since this is Tomb Raider after all. That if you explore, you can be rewarded with several different items, and for some reason, gun parts. this too, I always found that absolutely hilarious when playing the game. I'm investigating this ancient tomb. I finally make it to the end after the ridiculously easy puzzle makes me think that it's really hard, because it's what they do. They're so easy that it's actually really easy to overthink them, which is what I was doing most of the time. I was just it was really annoying. The Hall of Ascension is one that definitely got me. It was so easy, and I was trying to make it so much harder. But you open this ancient chest, and you get a rifle part. I found that absolutely hilarious. Um, Combat is very integral to this game, and it's very, very solid. All combat in this game is fluid. The biggest annoyance is that enemies will spam Molotovs and throw dynamite at you. Anytime you stay in cover for more than like 3 or 4 seconds. I mean, it's just kind of an annoyance. It's not a huge deal, but it got me killed a few times just because I found a decent spot, started mowing some people down, and then Molotovs come raining in, and I have to get out of cover, and there's nowhere else to go, so I get killed. The game definitely isn't afraid to get gruesome. One part has Lara having to cauterize herself. There's skulls littered all throughout the island and whatnot. And if you die in this game, there are many deaths, really gruesome death scenes. I'll show Lara getting impaled, or I think there's one where you got eaten by a shark. They were kind of gruesome at first, but actually kind of got a little bit humorous the more it happened, because I expected it. The game also does throw in some on-rail sections at you, like if you're sliding down a hill, and those get really annoying because the controls are just really, really loose. They're not overly responsive, so if you have to go right real quick, and it doesn't like to respawn very quickly at all. It's probably meant to be like that, but it just makes the on-rail sections kind of a pain in the ass. The game also isn't afraid to get over the top. There are many parts where Lara probably should have died. After one of the on-rails parts, you get caught in a tree with a parachute, and you fall like 100 feet. And I saw that, I'm like, oh, she lives. Oh yeah, she lives. Lara, no broken bones, you know. There are several times where she's like holding her ribs or something, but it's just like 15 seconds later, I'm good. It also has regenerating health, which I'm sure some of the more hardcore people don't like, but let's be honest, nobody likes looking for health packs. There's also multiplayer in this game. I'll be honest, I never even tried it. It didn't sound interesting at all. It's just 4v4 team deathmatch most of the time. I think there's like a domination game mode. It's honestly kind of a waste of space to me. I think the effort would have been better put in just making the game a little bit longer. I think normal run time. I did it on normal. I got most of the tombs. I think I missed one somewhere. I probably can go back and get it for an easy achievement since I have the skill that shows everything on my map. But I think I was in around 10 or 11 hours. I had like a 65% completion rate because there's a lot of collectibles in this game. But I think if they had taken that effort and went to the multiplayer, they could have made this game freaking even more epic. So let's look at graphics and music now. Graphically and musically speaking, this game on 360 is very good. This is about the best graphically you're going to get out of the 360. It likes to show a lot of landscape shots. I think would be the best way to put it. And I mean, they're on 360. They're pretty damn good, and that's saying a lot because we know the 360 is not exactly a powerhouse by any means. But I think it's top of the line. That this and Halo 4 are going to be the best you can get out of it. On PC, I've seen it's freaking amazing. Definitely, if you're looking for graphics, that would be the best way to play it. And play it with a 360 controller as well. Just that's the full experience, if you ask me. The soundtrack and sound effects are pretty solid as well. I've seen the soundtrack has been very widely recommended. I have to say, I think the music in the game was very good as well. And there were a few really cliche pieces, like when you're in a cave, you see that sound. It's just like waiting for like a jumps. It just always gets me looking for a jump scare because that's what I've always associated it with. It's gonna say da-da, like oh crap, something popped out. Oh god, I'm so scared. But voice acting is also very good. Laura, it kind of got me at first because Laura Croft has an accent. The voice actor or actress, I should say, that voices her has an accent. So. And this just always threw me off. Angelina Jolie doesn't have an accent, so I never associated her having an accent that much. So in conclusion, I have to say this is a very good game. 2013 definitely brought the freaking pain, even with the next-gen consoles coming out later in the year. This, Bioshock Infinite, and GTA 5 all combined to make 2013 one of the better years of gaming, at least in recent memory. There's a sequel coming out, Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think is either coming out later this year or early next year. I don't think they've released a release date yet for it, so just have to wait and see. There is a definitive edition though out, which is out for PS4 and Xbox One. It has all of the DLC that came out for the game and all of the updated graphics as well. Overall, I would have to say I would probably give this game about a 9 out of 10. I would say it's very heavily recommended. If you're a fan of action-adventure games, definitely pick this one up. With that being said, I am Jeff from Studio 41 Productions, and this is going to be my last video for a little while. I'm taking a bit of a break from Studio 41. The only thing I might put up is a gameplay or commentary from the Final Fantasy 15 demo. With that being said, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, subscribe. Tell us what you think about the game in the comments, if you agree or disagree, and all that YouTube-y stuff. So, thanks for watching.